Unexpected arrival. The sleek silver shuttle pierced through the atmosphere of Zephyria, a planet known across the galaxy for its untamed wilderness and treacherous terrain. However, the vessel's occupants were blissfully unaware of their destination's reputation. Inside, 5 human friends chatted excitedly about their upcoming camping trip, believing they were headed for a newly discovered Earth-like planet perfect for outdoor adventures. "I can't wait to set up camp and roast some marshmallows," said Emma, a petite woman with fiery red hair and a penchant for extreme sports. She playfully nudged her best friend, Liam, a tall, muscular man with a gentle demeanor despite his imposing physique. "Assuming we can even start a fire," Liam chuckled. "Remember our last camping trip when it took us 3 hours just to get a spark?" The group erupted in laughter, recalling their past misadventures. Among them were Zara, a brilliant astrophysicist with a dry sense of humor; Marcus, a happy-go-lucky chef with a knack for turning any ingredient into a gourmet meal; and Alex, a former military specialist turned nature photographer. As their laughter subsided, the shuttle began to shudder violently. Warning lights flashed across the control panel, bathing the cabin in an eerie red glow. Guys." Alex's voice was tense as he gripped his seat. "I don't think this is normal turbulence." Before anyone could respond, the shuttle plummeted through the cloud cover, revealing a landscape that was decidedly not the paradise they had expected. Instead of lush forests and crystal-clear lakes, they saw twisting spires of iridescent crystal, floating islands covered in pulsating vegetation, and terrain that seemed to shift and change before their very eyes. "Holy sh!" Marcus's exclamation was cut short as the shuttle crash-landed in a field of what appeared to be metallic grass, each blade glinting like a razor's edge in the alien sunlight. For a moment, silence reigned as the group tried to process what had just happened. Then, with a hiss, the shuttle door opened, and a gust of air that smelled like cinnamon and ozone rushed in. "Is everyone okay?" Zara asked, her scientific mind already racing to analyze their surroundings. A chorus of groans and affirmations followed as the group unbuckled and cautiously made their way out of the shuttle. As they stepped onto the metallic grass, they felt a slight vibration, as if the ground itself was alive. This isn't where we're supposed to be," Emma stated, her eyes wide as she took in the alien landscape. "No kidding," Liam muttered, reaching out to touch one of the grass blades. He quickly withdrew his hand with a hiss, sharp as a knife. "We need to be careful." Alex, ever the pragmatist, was already assessing their situation. "The shuttle's damaged. We're not getting off this planet anytime soon. We need to find shelter and water, assuming there's water here that we can actually drink." As if in response to Alex's words, a distant rumble echoed across the landscape. The group turned to see a massive wall of swirling, prismatic mist rolling towards them, devouring everything in its path. "I vote we start moving," Marcus said, his usual jovial tone replaced by urgency. Without further discussion, the 5 friends grabbed what supplies they could from the shuttle and began to run. The metallic grass sliced at their clothes and skin, leaving thin red lines, but they pushed on, driven by the instinct to survive. As they ran, the landscape around them seemed to come alive. Floating orbs of light darted around them, emitting curious chirping sounds. The crystal spires they passed resonated with deep, haunting tones that vibrated through their bodies. "Over there," Zara shouted, pointing to a cave-like opening in a nearby cliff face. "It might provide shelter from whatever that mist is." They changed course, making a beeline for the cave. The mist was gaining on them, tendrils of it reaching out as if trying to grasp at their heels. Just as they felt the first cool touches of the mist, they dove into the cave, tumbling onto a soft, moss-like floor that glowed with bioluminescent patterns. Panting heavily, they watched as the mist rolled past the cave entrance, its swirling colors casting eerie shadows on the cave walls. What was that?" Emma gasped between breaths. "I don't know," Zara replied, her scientific curiosity overtaking her fear. but it seems to be some sort of atmospheric phenomenon. The real question is, where are we? Liam, who had been examining their surroundings, called out from deeper in the cave, "Guys, you might want to see this." The group cautiously made their way towards Liam's voice. As they rounded a corner, they found themselves in a vast cavern. But it wasn't the size that took their breath away. It was what filled it. Spread out before them was what could only be described as an alien base camp. Strange, organic-looking structures that pulsed with internal light were arranged in a circular pattern. Holographic displays flickered with incomprehensible symbols, and devices that defied human understanding hummed with energy. "I don't think we're in Kansas anymore," Marcus whispered, his chef's imagination already wondering what kind of meals could be prepared with alien technology. As they stood there, trying to comprehend what they were seeing, a section of the cavern wall shimmered and disappeared, revealing the hidden passage. From it emerged a being that looked like a cross between a praying mantis and a jellyfish, its translucent body glowing with internal bioluminescence. The alien regarded them with multifaceted eyes, its antennae twitching as if tasting the air. Then, to the human's utter astonishment, it spoke in a voice that sounded like wind chimes and rushing water. "Welcome, Earth beings, to the Galactic Wilderness Challenge. Your unexpected arrival has caused quite a stir among the overseers. It seems you've inadvertently enrolled yourselves in the most grueling survival test in the known universe." The 5 friends exchanged bewildered looks. This was definitely not the camping trip they had signed up for. "I am Silox, your guide," the alien continued, seemingly oblivious to their shock. "Your species has never participated in the challenge before. This should be most interesting." As the gravity of their situation sank in, each of the humans reacted in their own way. Emma's eyes lit up with excitement at the prospect of an extreme challenge. Liam's brow furrowed with concern, already thinking about how to protect his friends. Zara's mind raced with questions about the alien technology and biology surrounding them. Marcus glanced around, wondering if he could recreate his famous chili with alien ingredients, and Alex stood tall, his military training kicking in as he prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did they know, their accidental participation in this cosmic wilderness bootcamp would not only test their survival skills, but also challenge the galaxy's perception of humanity. As Tylox led them deeper into the alien base camp, the universe watched with bated breath, wondering if these 5 ordinary humans could conquer the unconquerable. Survival instincts kick in. The alien base camp buzzed with activity as news of the humans' arrival spread. Silox, their mantis jellyfish guide, led them through a series of interconnected caverns, each more bizarre than the last. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, responding to their presence like a living entity. "The Galactic Wilderness Challenge," Silox explained, its voice a melodic hum, "is designed to test the limits of sentient beings from across the cosmos. Each participant must navigate the ever-changing landscape of Zephyria, overcoming obstacles that challenge both body and mind." As they walked, holographic projections sprang to life around them, showcasing past challenges. The humans watched in awe as strange creatures battled against the elements, solved complex puzzles, and faced terrifying predators. Quick question," Marcus piped up, his chef's apron still tied around his waist. "Is there a beginner's level? Maybe something with a nice, gentle learning curve." Tylox's antennae twitched in what might have been amusement. "The challenge adapts to each species' capabilities. However, given your unexpected enrollment, you will be starting at the standard difficulty." "Standard for whom?" Liam muttered, eyeing a projection of a 6-armed alien wrestling with what looked like a sentient tornado. Before Tylox could respond, a loud alarm echoed through the caverns. The bioluminescent patterns on the walls flashed urgently, and alien beings of all shapes and sizes began rushing towards the exits. "Ah," Silox hummed, its body glowing brighter. "It seems the challenge is about to begin. How fortuitous that you arrived just in time." Wait, what? Zora exclaimed, her scientific curiosity momentarily overshadowed by concern. We're not prepared for this. We don't even know what we're supposed to do. Dilox's multifaceted eyes blinked in sequence. The primary objective is simple: survive. Everything else, you must discover for yourselves. Good luck, Earth beings. May your species' adaptability serve you well. With that, Psylocke shimmered and vanished, leaving the 5 humans standing in the rapidly emptying base camp. Well, team, Alex said, slipping into his military leadership role, looks like we're doing this. Let's inventory our supplies and come up with a plan. They quickly pooled their resources: a few energy bars, a first aid kit, Alex's survival knife, Emma's rock climbing gear, Zara's tablet, miraculously still functioning, Marcus's portable cooking set, and various items of clothing. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Okay, Emma said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. We've got this. We're resourceful. We're smart. Her words were cut off as the ground beneath them began to tremble. The cavern walls shimmered and faded away, revealing the alien landscape they had briefly glimpsed before. But now it was transforming before their eyes. The metallic grass they had encountered earlier was growing at an alarming rate, reaching towards the sky like silver spears. The crystal spires in the distance began to rotate, emitting a high-pitched frequency that made their teeth vibrate. And the sky was alive with swirling colors and shapes that defied description. Move, Alex shouted, spurring the group into action. They ran, dodging the rapidly growing grass and leaping over newly formed crevices in the ground. The air around them thickened, becoming almost gelatinous, slowing their movements. The air, Zora gasped, her scientific mind racing even as she struggled to move. It's changing viscosity. We need to find a way to adapt. As if in response to her words, Marcus tripped and fell face first into a patch of luminous fungi. Instead of being crushed, the fungi enveloped him, forming a protective bubble. Guys, he called out, his voice muffled but excited. I think I found a solution. One by one, they dove into patches of the fungi, which responded by creating protective shells around them. Encased in these living bubbles, they found they could move more easily through the thickening air. This is incredible, Zora marveled, examining the fungi from within. It's like a symbiotic relationship. The fungi protect us, and in return, they can move to new locations. That's fascinating, Liam said, but where exactly are we moving to? As if in answer, a massive holographic display appeared in the sky. It showed a map of the surrounding area, with a pulsing light indicating their location. Several other lights, presumably other competitors, were also visible. Looks like we need to head towards that mountain. Alex pointed to a peak in the distance, glowing with an otherworldly light. They set off, rolling in their fungal bubbles like hamsters in balls. The landscape continued to shift around them, presenting new challenges at every turn. Rivers of what looked like liquid metal flowed uphill, defying gravity. Plants with crystalline leaves sprouted and grew to maturity in minutes, their branches reaching out to grab at the passing humans. Despite the alien nature of their surroundings, the humans found themselves adapting quickly. Emma used her rock climbing skills to navigate a field of magnetic boulders that floated in midair. Liam's strength came in handy when they needed to cross a chasm that opened up suddenly beneath them. Zara's scientific knowledge helped them understand and predict the strange phenomena they encountered. Even Marcus's culinary skills proved useful when they came across a grove of fruit-bearing trees. The fruits pulsed with different colors, and Marcus, using his chef's intuition, was able to determine which were safe to eat and which were potentially deadly. You know, Marcus said, biting into a fruit that tasted like a combination of mango and electricity, if we survive this, I'm going to have the most unique menu in the entire restaurant industry. As they progressed, they began to notice signs of other competitors. Strange tracks in the ever-changing soil, remnants of makeshift shelters, and the occasional distant roar or screech reminded them that they weren't alone in this challenge. "We're holding our own," Alex observed, a note of pride in his voice. "Maybe humans are better suited for this than we thought." Their journey wasn't without setbacks, of course. They had close calls with predatory plants, narrowly escaped sinkholes that appeared out of nowhere, and at one point had to outrun a herd of creatures that looked like a cross between rhinoceros and lightning bolts. But with each obstacle, they grew more confident, more in tune with the alien world around them. They learned to read the subtle signs of the environment, predicting changes before they happened. Their fungal bubbles, which they had come to affectionately call their rolling homes, evolved along with them, developing properties that helped them navigate the challenges they faced. As the first day, if it could be called that on a planet with 3 suns that never seemed to set, drew to a close, they found themselves at the base of the glowing mountain. The holographic map in the sky updated, showing that they were one of the first groups to reach this milestone. "I can't believe we made it," Emma said, her voice filled with awe and excitement. "Don't celebrate yet," Alex cautioned, eyeing the mountain warily. "Something tells me this is just the beginning." As if to confirm his words, the mountain began to shift and change, its glowing surface rearranging itself to form a series of seemingly impossible challenges. Vertical lakes, upside-down forests, and paths that twisted in ways that hurt the eyes to look at directly. "Well, team," Liam said, cracking his knuckles, ready for round 2. As they prepared to tackle the mountain, none of them realized that their progress was being watched with increasing interest and astonishment by the overseers of the Galactic Wilderness Challenge. These 5 humans, who had stumbled into the most grueling test in the universe without any preparation, were not just surviving. They were thriving. Little did they know, their accidental adventure was about to change the course of galactic history, challenging long-held beliefs about humanity's place in the cosmic order. As they began their ascent up the impossible mountain, the universe held its breath, wondering just how far these remarkable humans could go. Alien observers. In a hidden chamber deep within the heart of Zephyria, a group of beings unlike any the humans could imagine gathered around a massive holographic display. These were the overseers of the Galactic Wilderness Challenge, representatives of the most advanced civilizations in the known universe. Their forms were as diverse as the cosmos itself. Some were beings of pure energy, others were hive minds inhabiting multiple bodies, and still others defied conventional understanding of life itself. "Fascinating," hummed Zix9, a cloud of shimmering particles that coalesced into a vaguely humanoid shape. "These humans continue to surpass our expectations." The holographic display showed multiple views of Emma, Liam, Zara, Marcus, and Alex as they tackled the challenges of the glowing mountain. The humans had abandoned their fungal bubbles, which had served their purpose in the lower altitudes, and were now navigating the vertical lakes and upside-down forests with a combination of ingenuity and sheer determination. "Indeed," replied Corax, a crystalline entity whose faceted body reflected the light in mesmerizing patterns. "They lack the physical adaptations of the Zorgax or the psychic abilities of the ethereals, yet they persist." Most intriguing. The overseers watched as Emma used her rock climbing skills to scale a cliff face that randomly rearranged its handholds. Liam's strength came into play as he helped the others across a chasm that periodically inverted gravity. Zara's quick thinking allowed them to decipher a series of alien glyphs that unlocked safe passage through a maze of temporal distortions. "Their adaptability is remarkable," observed Ilara, a being of pure thought who communicated through pulses of light. "They transform their weaknesses into strengths, their ignorance into curiosity. It's unconventional." As they spoke, the display showed Marcus encountering a field of plants that emitted sonic pulses, causing disorientation in most species. To the overseer's surprise, Marcus began to sway, matching his movements to the pulses. Soon, he was navigating the field as if dancing through it, guiding his friends along a safe path. "Did you see that?" Zix9 exclaimed, its particles swirling excitedly. He synchronized with the harmonic helixes. Even the melodians struggle with that challenge. Alex's military training proved invaluable as he helped the group evade a pack of phase-shifting predators, anticipating their movements and using the terrain to their advantage. The overseers murmured in appreciation of his tactical acumen. They worked together seamlessly, Korax noted, each compensating for the other's weaknesses, enhancing their collective strengths. It's almost as if they were engineered for this challenge, Ilara finished the thought. But that's impossible. Their presence here was entirely accidental. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. These humans, representatives of a species that had barely begun to explore their own solar system, were unintentionally excelling at a challenge designed to test the most advanced beings in the galaxy. Perhaps, a new voice chimed in. We have been underestimating the potential of younger species. All attention turned to Omega, the eldest of the overseers. Omega's form was constantly shifting, sometimes appearing as a wise humanoid, other times as a swirling nebula or a complex mathematical equation given life. Omega rarely spoke, but when it did, all listened. For eons, we have viewed emerging civilizations as primitive, unworthy of joining the galactic community until they've achieved certain technological or evolutionary milestones. Omega continued. But these humans, they remind us of something we had long forgotten. The display shifted, showing a montage of the humans' journey so far. Their initial fear and confusion, their quick adaptation, their moments of brilliance and their stumbles, their laughter in the face of danger, and their unwavering support for one another. They remind us of the joy of discovery, Omega said, its form settling into that of a shimmering tree with leaves of stardust. The thrill of facing the unknown. The strength found in diversity and cooperation. In our long lives, we have become complacent, set in our ways. Perhaps it is we who have something to learn. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien discussions, debates, and exclamations. Some overseers argued that it was a fluke, that the human's success was mere chance. Others saw it as a sign that the challenge itself needed to be made more difficult. But a growing number began to consider Omega's words seriously. As the debates raged, the display showed the 5 humans reaching a plateau on the mountain. They were bruised, exhausted, and their clothes were in tatters, but their eyes shone with an undiminished spirit of adventure. They shared their remaining food, tended to each other's wounds, and began to prepare for the next stage of their journey. Look at them, Zix9 said, its voice filled with wonder. They have no idea of the impact they're having, no concept of how they're reshaping galactic perceptions. They're just living, surviving, thriving. Korax's crystalline form sparkled with newfound insight. Perhaps that is their greatest strength. They are unburdened by the weight of cosmic significance. They face each challenge as it comes, with no preconceptions of what they should or shouldn't be capable of. Ilara pulsed thoughtfully. It makes one wonder, how many other species have we overlooked? How many potential allies and innovators have we dismissed as not ready? As the humans settled down to rest, huddled together under an alien sky ablaze with unfamiliar stars, the overseers continued to watch. The debates in the chamber grew more intense, more profound. Age-old assumptions were being challenged, cosmic policies questioned. Omega, observing both the humans and the overseers, allowed itself a small smile, or the closest approximation its current form could manage. And so, it mused, the teachers become the students. The observers, the observed. The galaxy churns with the winds of change, all because 5 humans wanted to go camping. As the humans drifted off to sleep, preparing for whatever challenges the next day would bring, they remained blissfully unaware of the cosmic shift they had set in motion. Their simple desire to survive, to explore, to stick together against all odds, was rewriting the very fabric of galactic society. The Galactic Wilderness Challenge, designed to test the limits of the most advanced beings in the universe, had encountered an unexpected variable: human spirit. And as the overseers would soon discover, this was one variable that couldn't be quantified, predicted, or contained. The true challenge was only just beginning. Rising to the challenge. The alien sons of Zephyria cast an ethereal glow over the landscape as Emma, Liam, Zara, Marcus, and Alex awoke from their brief respite. The plateau they had reached on the glowing mountains seemed to pulse with an inner light, responding to their movements as they stretched and prepared for the day ahead. "Everyone okay?" Alex asked, his military training kicking in as he assessed the group's condition. Despite the bruises, scratches, and overall exhaustion, the humans shared a look of determination. They had come too far to give up now. "Never better," Emma grinned, her adventurous spirit undiminished. "What's next?" "Anti-gravity parkour. Battling time-bending monsters." As if in response to her words, the mountain trembled. The plateau they stood on began to fracture, breaking apart into floating islands that drifted lazily through the air. "You just had to ask, didn't you?" Marcus groaned, but there was a glint of excitement in his eyes. Zara, ever the scientist, was already analyzing their new surroundings. "Fascinating. It seems the islands are held aloft by some form of localized anti-gravity field. If we could understand the principles behind it." "Maybe later, Zara," Liam interrupted gently. "Right now, we need to figure out how to get across without falling to our doom." As the group debated their next move, they were unaware of the growing audience they had attracted. Not just the overseers, but beings from across the galaxy were now tuning in to watch the progress of these surprising humans. In distant space stations, crowded alien bars, and the private chambers of galactic leaders, all eyes were on Zephyria. Bets were placed, theories were formed, and more than a few species began to reassess their opinions of the small blue planet in an unfashionable arm of the Milky Way. Back on the mountain, the humans were facing their greatest challenge yet. The floating islands were not only moving but changing shape and composition. One moment, an island would be solid rock. The next, it would turn into a jelly-like substance or burst into flames. "Okay, team," Alex said, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. "We need a plan. Any ideas?" To everyone's surprise, it was Marcus who spoke up first. "You know, this reminds me of this molecular gastronomy technique I once tried. We were changing the state of ingredients using temperature and pressure. What if we could predict the changes based on some kind of pattern?" Zara's eyes lit up. "Marcus, you're a genius. Look closely, everyone. There's a sequence to the transformations." The group huddled together, watching intently as the islands shifted and changed. Slowly, a pattern emerged. Rock to fire to jelly to gas, and back to rock. "Okay," Emma said, her climbing expertise coming into play. "We need to time our jumps perfectly. We go when it's solid, avoid the fire, use the jelly for soft landings if we have to, and absolutely don't step on anything gaseous." With a plan in place, they began their perilous journey across the floating archipelago. It was a dance of timing, agility, and trust. They leaped from island to island, calling out warnings and encouragement to each other. Liam's strength came in handy as he helped launch his friends across larger gaps. Emma's climbing skills allowed her to cling to the edges of islands when jumps fell short. Zara's quick calculations helped them predict the safest routes, while Marcus's unexpected insight into the island transformations proved invaluable. Alex, drawing on his military experience, coordinated their efforts, ensuring no one was left behind and adapting their strategy as new challenges arose. As they progressed, the difficulty increased. The transformations became faster, the gaps wider. At one point, they encountered an island that seemed to defy their established pattern, shifting randomly and unpredictably. "This is impossible," Liam shouted over the roar of a suddenly erupting volcano on a nearby island. "No," Zara replied. Her eyes narrowed in concentration. Not impossible. Just quantum. The island isn't changing randomly. It's existing in multiple states simultaneously. Great, Marcus quipped, ducking to avoid a glob of lava. So how do we cross something that's both there and not there? Emma, who had been quiet for a moment, suddenly snapped her fingers. We don't cross it. We become part of it. Before anyone could stop her, Emma took a running leap towards the quantum island. As she sailed through the air, something remarkable happened. Her body seemed to shimmer, existing in multiple states just like the island. When she landed, she was somehow both solid and ethereal, matching the island's quantum state. Holy shit. Alex breathed. How did you know that would work? Emma laughed, her voice echoing strangely in her semi-solid state. I didn't, but I figured, when in Rome, do as the quantum Romans do. One by one, the others followed Emma's lead, embracing the uncertainty and allowing themselves to enter a quantum state. It was a bizarre experience, existing in multiple realities at once, but it allowed them to navigate the impossible island. As they reached the other side, returning to their normal, solid states, they were met with a sight that took their breath away. The peak of the mountain loomed before them, a swirling vortex of energy that pulsed with all the colors of the spectrum and a few that didn't exist on Earth. I think, Zara said slowly, we've reached the final challenge. Unknown to the humans, their quantum leap had sent shockwaves through the watching galaxy. Species that had mastered quantum physics for millennia were astounded by the humans' intuitive grasp of complex cosmic principles. In the overseer's chamber, the debates had reached a fever pitch. This is unprecedented, Zix9 exclaimed, its particle form vibrating with excitement. They're not just surviving the challenges, they're revolutionizing how they're approached. Corax's crystalline form sparkled with admiration. Their adaptability is off the charts. They're not bound by preconceived notions of what's possible. They just do. Ilara pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps that is the true lesson of this challenge. Not just survival, but innovation. The ability to see beyond established limits. Omega, who had been silently observing, finally spoke. We have long believed that advanced technology and evolved physiology were the markers of a species ready to join the galactic community. But these humans, they remind us of a fundamental truth we had forgotten. The chamber fell silent, all attention on Omega. The universe, Omega continued, does not bend to our will because we are strong or smart or technologically advanced. It bends because we dare to imagine it could. These humans, with their limited lifespan and their fragile bodies, dare greatly. They imagine possibilities where we see only obstacles, and in doing so, they reshape reality itself. As the implications of Omega's words sank in, the humans stood at the base of the swirling vortex, unaware of the profound impact they were having on galactic society. They were tired, battered, and a long way from the simple camping trip they had planned. But their eyes shone with determination and wonder. Well, gang, Marcus said, attempting to lighten the mood, I don't know about you, but this beats the hell out of roasting marshmallows. The group shared a laugh, the sound of their mirth echoing across the impossible landscape of Zephyria. As they prepared to face their final challenge, the watching galaxy held its breath. Whatever happened next, it was clear that the universe would never be the same. The humans were no longer just participants in the Galactic Wilderness Challenge. They had become unwitting revolutionaries, challenging the very foundations of cosmic society. And as they stepped into the swirling vortex of the mountain's peak, they carried with them the hopes and dreams of countless species across the stars. The final test awaited, and with it, the potential for a new era in galactic history, triumph and revelation. As Emma, Liam, Zara, Marcus, and Alex stepped into the swirling vortex at the mountain's peak, they felt a sensation unlike anything they had ever experienced. It was as if they were being unmade and remade with every passing moment. their very atoms dancing to the tune of cosmic forces beyond their comprehension. "Stay together," Alex shouted, his voice somehow echoing both around and within them. The group clasped hands, forming a human chain as they were buffeted by winds of pure energy. Within the vortex, reality itself seemed fluid. One moment they were standing on solid ground. The next they were floating in a sea of stars. Memories and possible futures flashed before their eyes, tantalizing glimpses of paths not taken and choices yet to be made. "It's testing us," Zara realized, her scientific mind working overtime to process the impossible data flooding her senses. But not just our physical abilities. It's testing our very essence. As if in response to her words, the vortex coalesced into a series of challenges, each more mind-bending than the last. They found themselves solving puzzles that required thinking in 5 dimensions, navigating moral dilemmas with galaxy-wide consequences, and facing fears they didn't even know they had. Through it all, they clung to each other, not just physically but emotionally and mentally. When Liam faltered in the face of a challenge that required him to sacrifice his strength, Emma's unwavering belief in him gave him the courage to push through. When Marcus faced a culinary puzzle that defied the laws of physics, Zora's scientific insights helped him craft a solution that was quite literally out of this world. Alex's leadership was tested when he had to make decisions that balanced the needs of the group against the greater good of an entire imaginary civilization. And Zara found her logical mind stretched to its limits when faced with paradoxes that could only be resolved through intuition and faith in the unknown. Throughout their trials, unbeknownst to them, the humans continued to captivate and inspire their galactic audience. Species across the universe watched in awe as these 5 ordinary humans faced challenges that had stumped even the most advanced civilizations. In the Overseer's chamber, the atmosphere was electric with excitement and disbelief. "Impossible," exclaimed Corax, its crystalline form vibrating with intensity. "They're rewriting the parameters of the test as they go along." Zix-9's particle form swirled in agitation. "But that's not allowed. The challenge has strict rules, protocols." "Which they know nothing about," Ilara interrupted, her pulses of light conveying a sense of wonder. "They're not bound by our preconceptions of what's possible or allowed. They're simply being human." Omega, who had been silent for some time, finally spoke. "And therein lies the greatest lesson of all. In our quest for advancement, for order in the cosmos, we had forgotten the power of untamed potential. These humans remind us of what we once were, and what we could be again." Back in the vortex, the humans faced their final test. They found themselves standing on a platform suspended in the void, surrounded by swirling galaxies and newborn stars. Before them stood a being of pure light, its form constantly shifting and changing. "Greetings, humans," the being spoke, its voice resonating in their very souls. "You have reached the heart of the Galactic Wilderness Challenge. Here, you face the ultimate choice." With a wave of its luminous appendage, the being conjured 2 doors. One was solid and reassuring, marked with the symbol of Earth. The other was translucent and shimmering, adorned with an intricate symbol that seemed to represent the entire cosmos. "Through one door lies home," the being explained. "You will return to Earth with no memory of this adventure, free to live out your lives as you would have. Through the other lies a role in the galactic community. You will become ambassadors of your species, helping to usher in a new age of cosmic cooperation and adventure. But you can never return to your old lives. Choose wisely." The humans exchanged glances, 1,000 unspoken words passing between them in an instant. They had been through so much together, faced challenges beyond imagining. And now, they faced the greatest decision of their lives. "I think," Emma said slowly, a smile spreading across her face, "we need to change the rules one last time." With a nod of understanding, the group joined hands. As one, they stepped forward, not towards either door, but towards the being of light itself. "We choose neither and both," Alex declared, his voice ringing with conviction. "We choose to be the bridge between Earth and the stars. We can't abandon our home," Liam added, "but we can't ignore the wonders we've seen either." Zara's eyes sparkled with the light of discovery. "We'll find a way to balance both worlds, to bring the spirit of humanity to the stars and the wisdom of the cosmos back to Earth." Marcus grinned. After all, every good recipe needs a mix of the familiar and the exotic. The being of light seemed to pause, considering their response. Then, to the humans' amazement, it began to laugh, a sound like tinkling crystal and roaring supernovas all at once. "Once again, you surprise us," it said, its form beginning to dissipate. "Very well, children of Earth, let it be so." In a flash of light that outshone the stars themselves, the humans found themselves back on the plateau where their final challenge had begun. But they were not alone. Around them stood beings of all shapes and sizes, the other participants of the Galactic Wilderness Challenge, the overseers, and representatives from countless alien species. Psylocke, their original guide, approached them, its mantis-like form vibrating with what seemed to be excitement. "Congratulations, humans. You have not only completed the challenge but revolutionized it. Your actions have sparked a transformation that will ripple across the galaxy for eons to come." As the implications of their adventure sank in, the humans were bombarded with questions, congratulations, and offers of alliance from the assembled aliens. It was overwhelming, exhilarating, and more than a little terrifying. Omega, in the form of a shimmering cosmic tree, addressed the gathered beings. "Let this mark the beginning of a new era. The humans have shown us that true advancement lies not in technology or physical evolution alone, but in the spirit of adventure, the willingness to challenge assumptions, and the strength found in diversity and cooperation." In the days that followed, as the humans prepared for their return to Earth and their new roles as cosmic ambassadors, they reflected on their incredible journey. "You know," Marcus mused, as they sat around a campfire made of glowing alien fungi, "we never did get to roast those marshmallows." The group burst into laughter, the sound echoing across the alien landscape and up into the star-filled sky. They had set out for a simple camping trip and ended up changing the course of galactic history. But in this moment, sharing jokes and dreams around a campfire, they were reminded of the simple human spirit that had carried them through their greatest adventure. As news of their exploits spread across the cosmos, humanity found itself thrust onto the galactic stage. The 5 accidental champions became legends, their story inspiring generations of humans to look to the stars with wonder and ambition. And so, a new chapter in the history of the universe began, all because 5 friends decided to go camping. In the grand tapestry of cosmic events, it was a small thread, but one that would forever change the pattern of the stars themselves.